All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome back. We had a wild and interesting race earlier tonight as the Fun League took to USA in some street stocks against AI cars, but there are no AI cars on track tonight. There are already 13 drivers in the field. Expect to see a few more before this is all said and done for the John Paul Jr. Huntington's disease race number 2 of the series. And I have to point out right off the bat, you're going to see 3 of these cars, that one being driven by Gerald Thanos Poole. That is actually the same paint scheme that John Paul Jr. won in here at Michigan in his first IndyCar win. So he's got that paint scheme, and I believe we have 2 other drivers in the field. We'll try and find those. Looks like they might actually both be off track at the moment, but we've got 3 cars in the field running John Paul Jr. paint schemes tonight. So an awesome tribute from these guys here tonight. So a couple of notes: tonight's winner and highest donor will receive a button box from Crazy Vet Fam. Check them out on Facebook. We also have t-shirts for second place, and might even be some bigger prizes next week for race number 3, and that will be GT4s at the Daytona Road Course. And again, another one of John Paul Jr.'s wins, and trying to help raise some money to help combat this disease in his name. They will be having a celebration of life for him in California this week. And or next week, excuse me. So we hope to be talking to some people and have some extra people in the broadcast next week as well, to help thank everybody who has contributed. Now, coming into the last week's race, their GoFundMe had just over $100, and last time I checked, right before we started the broadcast, we were at $915. Most of that coming from folks here on iRacing. So thank you guys so much. We're double checking that right now, but yes, it is currently at $915. Let's see if we can hit $1,000 tonight. The links are in both the YouTube and Twitch chat. So if you can donate anything, any little bit will help with raising funds for this charity. Now tonight it is the DW12s. This is the legacy version of Michigan, so more true to what he drove it back in the day, and it's already getting a little dicey out there in practice, seeing speeds of over 200 and almost 240 miles an hour actually now. Some of these guys really flying around the track. They will have one competition caution, lap number 33. The rest of the race, they will go green flag unless there's an incident. They do have one fast repair tonight, and interestingly, that first caution, wow, power move. That first caution comes at lap 33. They can run about 40 laps on a tank of gas, and an incident there in practice. With these high speeds, these guys don't have a lot of time to react. There is Harley Barletta, currently second fastest. Sean Andrews is actually the fastest at the moment. So looking forward to seeing who comes out on top here tonight. Jim Johnson currently third fastest. DJ Kenner fourth. And awesome to see all these guys out here. We've got people from Fast and Fun. We've got people from BRR. We've got several of the Outlaws. We've got several members of G2 and XCal Racing out here. So all the leagues coming together for this special event. And got a shout out to Gerald Thanos Poole as he comes down pit road. He is the one that organized all this. So huge shout out to him for getting this going. And I have to tell you, a lot of these Outlaw and G2 guys, they've raced together in high downforce cars before, in SR8s, even around this track. I can tell you a couple of the guys that we're going to be watching closely tonight are going to be Jim Belair. There is Jim. We're going to be watching Gerald Poole and DJ Kenner Those three are some of the fastest in a high downforce car, but you never count out Michael Reynolds, who's currently 10th fastest. Expect to see him lead a group that falls off the back of the pack early on. Plays it safe for the first half of the race, but that second half of the race, he'll be coming to the front and bringing a crew with him to come flying through the field. And it's not the first time we've broadcast a race where Michael Reynolds has hit out at the back for half the race and then come flying by the field with a car in perfect condition and extremely fast. So looking forward to seeing what everybody out here can do. Jim Johnson will be another one to watch here tonight as well in these high downforce cars. Bradley Berry's out there. Let's just run through the field real quick. Sean Andrews, Harley Barletta, Jim Johnson, Kevin Barnes, Matt Stewart, DJ Kenner, Gerald Thanos Poole, Brian Mansfield, Joe Campbell. That is another one of the John Paul Jr. cars. James Scruggs, Michael Reynolds, Jim Belair, and Bradley Berry all in the field. Take a moment, please, and hit the share button. Let's get as much attention on this and see if we can raise some money. Their goal for their fundraiser is $50,000. We were shooting to help them out by raising $2,500. Almost halfway there already, just in a week. We've got one more week of this to go, and next week's race, we want to see even bigger money raised. So we'll see how things play out here tonight, but hopefully with you guys' help, we can cross the $1,000 mark and even higher tonight. Now, let's see. Yeah, it looks like Thanos is on pit road, so let's see if we can get a quick word with him. Hey, Gerald, it's Doug. You got me?
10-4. Gotcha.
Hey, I noticed you were off track. Figured it was the perfect time because trying to talk at 240 miles an hour is probably not the most convenient thing.
Yeah, it can get a little bit twitchy out there. I think that's maybe the word.
I think twitchy would be the word, and I noticed these lap times getting faster, and I was talking about the fact we've seen you and Michael Reynolds are two of the fastest in SR8s that we've ever watched, and these cars handle a lot like them, just quite a bit faster. So how's your chances looking for tonight?
I mean, I think we're doing pretty well. I mean, qualifying is a lone thing. So, the other part of it is, a lot of the fast times, come down to having a great draft for a lap, just being on the right set of tires or, wherever you're at the time. So not really concerned about the practice speed at this point. But we'll get after it when we need to.
Well, I know this is your brainchild, and we talked about it a lot last week about the John Paul Jr. Huntington's disease, the charity, and the disease. But this is your brainchild for the fundraising portion of it. So, what's some of the goals you're looking for, and what brought this to your interest?
Well, out of the weird situation of coincidence, my buddy Jeff Young dating Dinah Shirsaki. There are Jennifer Jen, and Dinah's sister is Darlene Gray, who was the significant other caretaker for John Paul Jr. for all those years, while he was suffering from Huntington's disease. So, it was kind of just a natural coincidence. We ran into each other. Darlene and I have chatted and on the phone, and they're even interested in trying to get more involved with iRacing and get the 935 Porsche scanned and into iRacing someday, so we can run some of those older cars. So it was just kind of spawned out of that. It was kind of a test thing. Let's just throw it up and see what we can do and help them raise a little bit money for their foundation to help with the research and find a cure for Huntington's disease. So hey, do it, go for it, and hey, let's just have some fun.
I would absolutely, positively love to see that old school Porsche get scanned in. I know we've got some old school Indy cars out there, the Lotus 49 and 79, so that would be a perfect fit. And that was an awesome car back in the day, too.
Oh yeah, and like I said, we've gotten to the point where we're almost up to $1,000 with their GoFundMe fundraiser that they have going on. So, it works out great. Like I said, we got a race next week, and we'll, like I said, I'm just excited and looking forward to getting into this one this evening.
All right, so here's a quick question. We know that about 40 laps on fuel. The caution comes out at lap 33. So, what's your strategy here? Are you going to just go all out the first part of it, or are you going to play it safe until the caution?
I'm going to kind of play it by ear at the start of that first stage. I'm going to, wherever I qualify, I'm just going to be conservative. We'll kind of look down. I'm not really sure at this point if there's the ability to be able to stop and pit and get back out before the lead cars get around, because obviously they're going so fast. But so I'm going to play it by ear on that first stage, and then we'll take those last 66 or 65 or 4 laps, and we may come up with some sort of strategy on that part of it.
All right, man. Good luck. Always good to see you in a high downforce car here at Michigan. I guarantee you this is going to be a fun one, and I expect to see you up front.
Well, thank you much, and thank you for all you do for us, man. And I'm going to get out there, run a few more laps, and we'll see how this goes.
All right, buddy. Good luck, man.
10-4.
All right, Gerald Thanos Poole, the brainchild behind this, and currently Brian Mansfield in the that's his Combs Family Museum paint scheme. Currently the fastest, and his fastest lap 32.05. So they're going to do 100 laps here tonight, but at about 2 laps a minute. This thing is going to go by extremely quickly, and as we've seen on track throughout the practice session, once these cars get together, they keep going faster. They keep as Scruggs ends up upside down. Once they get into a pack, these cars really, really start flying, and they're just sending them around the track. We will be able to pull up some data during the race and show you some of the speeds they're running in the draft, but let's show you real quick. Let's take a quick look and see. Right now, that is Joe Campbell. He's doing 225 miles an hour by himself, roughly, in 6th gear. Probably get a little bit higher on the front straightaway. I think the highest speed I have seen so far has been 239 miles an hour. So expect once they get a couple of laps under, get up to speed, the tires are warmed up, it would not be surprising to see the entire pack doing in excess of 45 miles an hour here. And when you're inches off the car in front of you, that's when things get really, really sketchy. You heard Gerald talking about how these cars bobble a lot, move around, and there's not a lot of time to react. These guys are going to have to be on their toes here tonight. One guy who knows how to be on his toes is Harley Barletta. Harley, this is Doug. You got me?
Hey, how's it going, Doug?
Hey, man, pretty good. Not your usual type of car. How's it feeling out there?
Oh, it's awesome. It sticks on fresh tires. It sticks on old tires, kinda. It's fine. It'll be good.
Now, you guys have had some fast laps. You had the 3rd fastest, and you laid down some of the fastest laps earlier. And some of the speeds we're seeing are even faster than your top speed so far. So are you looking forward to being 2 inches off another guy with a very breakable front wing and going 240 miles an hour?
Yeah, but also no, because I can't see the outside of my tires, so I don't. I have no spatial awareness in this car, so this is gonna be awesome.
All right. Well, as I mentioned when I talked to you before the race, it is a historic thing where the first time you get in a new car at a new track, you tend to win. So, what are your chances here tonight?
Well, I'm gonna be in the top 5 most of the race as long as nothing bad happens.
All right, man. Keep it out of trouble. Good luck. You got a couple minutes left, and then you got to go qualify.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you later.
All right, Harley Barletta, and look for him to be up battling the top. Looks like driver's meeting is underway as Jeremy Leto hops in, and so we're going to have a pretty decent-sized field, and it's going to be a huge pack. You got just a couple minutes while they're in the driver's meeting to go hit the share button, go take a look at the link, and if you can, please donate to the charity. Help raise money. As Gerald mentioned, as we mentioned with the John Paul Jr. Celebration of Life next week, we hope to at least have some pre-recorded interviews with some folks involved. If not, getting them on here live, which would be awesome. I know I've got to interview Jeff Young and Dinah before, so we might get a chance to talk to them again, and who knows what else. I know Gerald's working really hard on that stuff in the background, and it would be great if we could... the 3-week goal that we set was about $2,500. That's what we wanted to get into the GoFundMe. So if you guys can, please donate. That would be wonderful. The links are in both the Twitch and the YouTube. It is on our Facebook page, How to Suck at iRacing, and we'll be posting it again tomorrow. We'll be posting a lot of stuff on Facebook over the next week. Hopefully you guys can all help. Even just a couple of bucks would help. All right, catching our breath here. Qualifying is 2 laps. They have 10 minutes to do it in. They will be out there solo qualifying as Bradley Berry completes his practice. Jeremy Leto just getting in. 14 car field, and this is going to get exciting, folks. So don't forget to hit that share button. And drop into the comments. Let us know who you are cheering for here tonight. Who do you expect to see win here tonight? All right, qualifying underway. Let's start looking at some of these. All right, Brian Mansfield rolling off pit road. He's in the Combs Family Museum car. Harley Barletta rolling off. And yes, we will be making jokes about the fact that he is driving Danica Patrick's car. Matt Stewart rolling out. I did not get a good look at his paint scheme earlier, so let's try and get a look at it as he goes around right now. Oh, a Ski-Doo. There's not a lake at Michigan, but or on the track anyway. There's lots of lakes in Michigan, but and we will try and keep an eye on the progress. If you guys donate during the race, please make sure you drop a comment. Let me know. I'll go take a look. And love to see us reach our goal. We'd like to get over $1,000 tonight and hit $2,500 by next Friday. And I gotta say, the HTSAI community has done a great job this year doing fundraising for several charities. A lot of money raised for MS, which included me having to shave my entire head. A lot, over $3,000 raised for the American Cancer Society with the Outlaws. They did an amazing job doing that one. XCal raising money for St. Jude. I've lost track of what they're at now. I know it's over $1,500, so a lot of money raised. BRR raised money for school music programs. So many different great charities that this entire community raises money for, and we couldn't be prouder to be a part of all of that. Yeah, as I mentioned, Gerald Poole in a John Paul Jr. paint scheme. There is Bradley Berry. We've got 2 other cars out there, Joe Campbell, and let's see what Leto is in tonight. Didn't know if he was going to be. We'll have to wait till he rolls off and see if he's in the same. Kevin Barnes just rolling off of pit road. Try and get a closer look. That's just a funky paint scheme, but it looks cool. Bradley Berry's in the red, white, and blue. Jim Johnson's in his usual yellow and black 39. I couldn't see if he had any sponsors. He's got something on the nose, but I can't tell what it is. We'll have to see if we can figure that out throughout the night. Scruggs out there. Scruggs was trying to take a shortcut through the infield, but it didn't work out well. And as we mentioned, we have 3 cars in the field with the John Paul Jr. paint scheme. Sean Andrews, Joe Campbell, and Gerald Dowspool, and all of them have different color wheels on it, so you can tell them apart. And once they get on the grid, we'll point it out and let you know which is which. Bradley Berry, the only car out on track. Nope, Jeremy Leto's rolling off track, and let's see if we can get a look at his paint scheme here. Looks like he is running a... looks like a Canadian something. He's got a Canadian flag on the side of it. It's just because he is Canadian, he is just supporting his country, so shout out to him. Michael Graynolds, Joe Campbell, Sean Andrews, DJ Kenner have not taken to the track to qualify yet. DJ Kenner, his nickname is the Iceman. You'll see why. Nothing bothers the guy on track. He can go full speed all the way around the track, 2 inches off somebody. Any mistake happens, he has miraculous recovery. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But with Brian Mansfield starting out front, they could all be chasing him all night. Brian has several asphalt oval championships under his belt, and always a tough competitor on tracks like Michigan. In fact, if you were here last night, you saw him take on Michigan in a cup car and up in the top 3 all night long. Harley Barletta just sent me a note saying, hey, you can interview me under green. He's probably going to regret that, but we might do it once in a while. All right, there's going to be a lot of excitement. Here comes the Iceman, DJ Kenner, in the orange and black paint 32. Sean Andrews rolling off pit road now as well. He is in the John Paul Jr. paint scheme as well. He has the blue wheels. Joe Campbell, if I remember correctly, has, yes, yellow wheels. And Gerald Dowspool has black or silver wheels. So now we've got both of the John Paul Jr. paint schemes out on track. All right, looking over, wanted to go over the just a little bit of information about Huntington's disease. Less than 200,000 cases of it are diagnosed per year. It's very tricky to diagnose. It's one of those diseases that it takes several different tests and can take as much as 2 years to get a correct diagnosis of it. It is a genetic brain disease that can cause deterioration of physical, mental, and emotional attributes. So it basically can start shutting your whole body down, and you lose control of it, your body completely. So obviously not a disease you hear a lot about because of its rarity, but it is so debilitating. And from what I've read, hopefully we can talk to some of the folks from the charity next week. They can tell us a lot more. But from what I've read and from what we were told last week during some interviews, that it can come on and have very rapid onset and can be very debilitating very quickly, can change your whole life. John Paul Jr. actually didn't realize something was wrong until he was looking at his race data, and it didn't match what his feet were telling him or what he thought his feet were doing, and he realized something was wrong. That was how he found out he had problems and went to get the check and found out he had Huntington. So obviously very catastrophic, and you lose a lot of functionality in your body. Michael Reynolds, Kevin Brunner are the only two to not take to pit or to qualify yet. Everybody else is qualified. Just over a minute left in qualifying. So please, one more time, hit that share button. And if you can donate, the links are on the Facebook page. They're also in the YouTube comments, and they're in the Twitch comments. Please, if you can, even just a few dollars would help. We'd like to get over $1,000 before the night is out. Kevin Brunner now getting out on track at the last minute to qualify. There is Brunner. He is in black and orange. Let's try and get a look when he comes down the front straightaway. See who his sponsors are on the side of that car. Looks like it said Advanced Racing. We'll try and get a better look at it here. And remember, we talked about it in practice. They were wheeling guys exceeding 239, 240 miles an hour. Once they get into this draft pack and start the race, man, it's going to be wide open, full throttle, all the way around the track. You heard Harley Barletta talk about how much grip these cars have. This is going to get exciting. All right, qualifying is over. It's time to grid, and it'll be DJ Kenner and Brian Mansfield on the front row. Matt Stewart, Harley Barletta on the second row. Jim Johnson, Gerald Thanos Poole on the third row. Jeremy Leto and Jim Belair on the fourth row. Bradley Berry and Kevin Barnes rounding out the top 10. Then Joe Campbell and Scruggs on the 11th and 12th. 13th is Sean Andrews. Kevin Brunner is 14th. And Michael Reynolds, no surprise there, did not qualify, starting in 15th. And as I mentioned, as we see DJ Kenner, not surprised to see Kenner on the pole. Outlaws, in fact, have the front row. Then you got Matt Stewart from the Outlaws. So the Outlaws actually have the top 3 starting spots, followed by Harley Barletta representing BRR and Fast and Fun. Jim Johnson from Outlaw, Gerald Poole from G2, and G2 Racing League, obviously one of the the group involved with getting this put on with Gerald Poole's help. Jeremy Leto from XCal. We've got a wreck on the front straightaway. What happened? It is not often that you see a wreck on a pace lap. And it looks like something happened to Jeremy Leto's controls. He just went completely right. Looks like he collected Jim Belair. Caution, the admins are throwing a caution to give these guys a chance to get their cars repaired and get back out here. Jim Belair is one to watch closely. If he can get that car back out there, maintain the lead lap. Let's see if he's got any damage to that car. I think he's actually missing the entire front cone and wing. Yes, he is. So he'll have to go get a fast repair before they even stopped. It looks like Leto had a technical difficulty there that just broke his controls, sent him into the wall, and obviously the impact to Jim Belair is significant. So hopefully Jim can get fixed and get back out there. Jim is one of those guys that is extremely fast in these high downforce cars. Everybody staying lined up. Jim Belair's on pit road. He's going to get repaired. Here is the view from Brian Mansfield's car. You can see it's you can tell there's not a lot in front of the driver's compartment for a guy to have a lot of time to react. So things will get tricky out there very, very quickly. Let's hop back up in Brian Mansfield's. Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. Jim Belair off pit road, catching up to the back of the field right now. Should get a green flag this time. Here comes Jim Belair. He's in the middle of the backstretch. He'll catch him off into turn number 3. All the fans in the stands ready to cheer on their favorite driver. Let us know who yours is in the comments. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. The second race of the John Paul Jr. Huntington's disease charity event underway. DJ Kenner, Brian Mansfield get an awesome start and already out there. Now the question is, do they line up and work together, or are they going to battle it out? It looked like Brian was looking to the inside, but couldn't do anything yet, trying not to. Now Mansfield's going to go to the inside. Matt Stewart a little bit further back has got Harley Barletta and Jim Johnson with him as they come around to complete the first lap of green flag racing. Now that extra pace lap under caution to let Jim Belair and Jeremy Leto get to pit road, that shouldn't impact fuel. They have about 40 laps on a tank is what they were showing in practice. So with a caution at lap 33, everybody should be good to go to the first pit stop. However, Jim Belair, very, very little room for error here now that him and Leto have both used their fast repairs. Leto is back up off of pit road. He is a couple of laps down now. Last time by, Matt Stewart was the fastest, and he has made his way to third, made his way back up behind DJ Kenner. No surprise to see Brian Mansfield out front leading this group. DJ Kenner, the Iceman, just going to sit in second right now. Don't expect to see DJ push the issue. Matt Stewart right there with him. Harley Barletta in fourth. Jim Johnson currently running in fifth. Gerald Thanos Pool sixth. Bradley Berry side by side with Kevin Barnes for seventh. Kevin Brunner in eighth. Sean Andrews ninth. Scruggs in 10th. Joe Campbell 11th. Jim Belair 12th. Michael Granels 13th. And 14th is Jeremy Leto. And let's hop in Scruggs' car. He's right in the middle of this mess, and you can see, given a little bit of room off into the corners. And there you see the speeds they're doing right now. 233 as he makes a power move to the bottom. Has to get out of the throttle just a little bit. Drifts up out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, just in the draft to Bradley Berry. Back off into turn number 3, and now Sean Andrews back to the bottom. He comes back around Scruggs as they come down the front straightaway. Harley Barletta has made his way up to the lead. How long will that last, though? He has got 4 outlaws right behind him. And I can promise you this, here at Michigan, in a high downforce car like this, in these big open wheels car, it's going to be tough to beat the Outlaws. Harley Barletta might be the loneliest man in the world out there. No help, no teammates, nothing right now. Gerald Thanos Pool has made his way up into 5th. He is in the lead pack now. Jim Johnson is at the back of the lead pack in 6th place as they spread out, and Thanos starting to make his way forward. Matt Stewart fighting back on the high side. Sean Andrews in 7th is 1.5 seconds back from this lead pack. He's got Bradley Berry behind him, then Scruggs, Campbell, and Barnes all right there battling for position. And Kevin Brunner right there behind him. I haven't seen Kevin Brunner make a lot of moves. He's up a couple of spots from the start, but not making a ton of moves yet. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, Michael Graynolds hanging out at the back. He is 3 seconds behind Jim Belair, who's at the back of this pack right here. Graynolds hanging out off the back. He's maintaining as much speed as he can so he does not get lapped before that caution comes out at lap 33, at which point we will see him turn it up just a bit. Meanwhile, Harley Danica Barletta is in the lead. Brian Mansfield in 2nd. And it looks like this front pack has resigned themselves to staying single file, at least for the moment. Doing so, they have a 1.2 second lead on Sean Andrews, but Sean, that was 1.5 seconds just a couple of laps ago. So Sean, with the help of Bradley Berry, seems to be making up a little bit of ground here. And of course, Joe Campbell back there. He's got Jeremy Leto back a little bit further. Some of these XCal guys like Joe Campbell, Sean Andrews, expect to see them getting together later in the race. Could see it break down to where you've got all the different leagues working together with their league mates to try and get to the front. And Harley Barletta, if that comes to pass, Harley Barletta is going to be the loneliest driver out there with absolutely no help. And how Harley's doing this, I do not know. But Harley has a 1/3 of a second lead right now over Brian Mansfield. He is actually pulling away just a little bit. Also, interestingly, Harley Barletta has the fastest lap of... No, he does not. I stand corrected. Gerald Thanos Poole has the fastest lap of the race so far at 31.72. Harley Barletta's fastest is a 31.78. Sean Andrews has pulled a 31.79. Sean Andrews has bridged the gap and actually caught back up from 1.5 seconds back. He is caught up to the lead pack. But Harley Barletta still out front. Brian Mansfield leading the Outlaws around. He's got DJ Kenner, Matt Stewart, Jim Johnson, Gerald Thanos Poole, Sean Andrews in that lead pack. But 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all Outlaw drivers. They are all hooked up together, and expect that to be a common theme here tonight. I fully expect to see those Outlaw drivers working together. Scruggs will get up there and get connected with them, and they will be extremely tough to beat. Gerald Thanos Poole has help in the form of Michael Graynolds further back in the field, but he also has help from the other XCal drivers as well. Bradley Berry will have help from both Graynolds and Gerald Poole. Then you've got the XCal drivers, Gerald Poole, Sean Andrews, and Joe Campbell. And Jeremy Leto once he manages to get back to the lead lap. Actually, scoring is now showing Leto on the lead lap, so it must... I think they got the caution thrown early enough that it did not count the extra pace lap, which gave Jeremy Leto just enough time. He's showing about a half a lap down, but he is still in the fight. Never count out Jeremy Leto. Brian Mansfield 2nd, DJ Kenner still in 3rd, Matt Stewart still there in 4th, Jim Johnson in 5th, Sean Andrews in 6th, Gerald Poole 7th, and Joe Campbell in 8th is now 1.6 seconds back from 7th place Gerald Poole. Gerald actually losing a little bit of ground. He is now 1 second behind this lead pack. And Harley Barletta has opened up almost a 1 second lead already. Impressive that he has managed to break the draft on the cars behind him. Although, you got to wonder with DJ Kenner and Brian Mansfield, two very calculating drivers, two very strategetic drivers. With these two up in this lead pack, as Matt Stewart got a little on the apron there and had a bit of a bobble. Let's watch. I'm sorry, that was Jim Johnson, I think, that got the apron, had a bobble. Here comes Sean Andrews to the inside. Oh, Sean Andrews gets a massive push up through the corner and almost takes the back end off Jim Johnson. Good save by Sean. Good drive by Jim. Harley Barletta continuing to extend that lead. Now 1.7 seconds. How he has managed to do that is beyond me. But as we mentioned in the pre-race, anytime we have ever been broadcasting a race that Harley was on that track in that particular car for the first time, he's won, and he's showing it again. Scruggs is on pit road. Not sure what that was about. Scruggs gave up a lot of track position to come to pit road here. Doesn't have any damage. He is up 4 tires, fuel. This has got to be a strategy move, but he has got to get back up off pit road very quickly because here comes Harley Barletta. Scruggs is coming off pit road right now. Lap 21, 12 laps till the caution. Brian Mansfield leads the pack of outlaws around the track. There is Scruggs coming up off of pit road. So he ended up losing a lot of ground, but will those fresh tires make a huge difference? Harley Barletta's fastest lap, a 31.7. Last time by a 32.3. 0.6 of a second slower. Will the fresh tires help Scruggs out, and will this strategy pay off for him here? Jeremy Leto, we saw him have the issues on the pace lap. Something went wrong with his system. He ended up in the wall. Got Jim Belair in that incident. Both of them hanging out back, just trying to keep the cars clean. Kevin Brunner in 11th. Kevin Barnes in 9th. Bradley Berry in 10th. The back part of the pack starting to spread out just a little bit. Gerald Poole now has Joe Campbell with him, and they have Sean Andrews just ahead. I now wonder, I'm willing to bet Gerald Poole dropped back off that lead pack to pick up Joe Campbell and then work together to get to the front. Sneaky suspicion. Now you have to really wonder, did Aaron Hillebush, the president of XCal, give team orders coming into the night? Aaron, if you're watching, did you give him team orders? Brian Mansfield still leading the pack in second, but Harley Barletta way out front now, 3.25 seconds. Brian, DJ, Matt, and Jim all there together. Sean Andrews now there. Joe Campbell and Gerald Poole. The 3 XCal drivers now hooked up and in the lead pack. Yep, I'm willing to put a bet on this that Gerald Poole, or that Aaron Hillebush had team orders that these 3 had to work together tonight. Plus they have matching John Paul Jr. cars. Now this is the site, and these cars are the ones that John Paul Jr. got his first F1 win in. Not F1, IndyCar, sorry. His first IndyCar win here at Michigan in obviously a little bit old. Oh my God. Joe Campbell gets into Jim Johnson's outside tire. No, that was Sean. Sorry, my mistake. Sean Andrews got into Jim Johnson's outside tire. He gets down to the apron. He was up there in that lead pack and now way behind. Joe Campbell and Gerald Thanos-Pool lost one of their teammates here. Take a look at Jim Johnson as he comes by. Doesn't look like he had any damage. It was probably a very light touch, but still a little bit. He's going to be a little bit careful with it. Meanwhile, Sean Andrews is on pit road. He's going to get a repair done. He was riding the wall out of turn number 2. Brian Mansfield still leading the Outlaw pack around. Now Joe Campbell pulling ahead of teammate Gerald Thanos-Pool. Kevin Barnes is now pulling back up. Remember, he was a second and a half behind not that long ago. But with everything going on up at the front, he has been able to close that gap down to about 3/4 of a second. Once he's within about 6/10, 5/10 of a second, he will pick up the draft and be able to pull right back up here. He just needs things to go a little smoothly for about another lap. Bradley Berry currently running in at 9th. He is 3.5 seconds back from that pack, but he's got Kevin Brunner coming to help. Michael Grainold's now up to 11th. Jim Belair in 12th. Jeremy Leto in 13th. Harley Barletta continuing to lead, and he is coming around now to lap Sean Andrews after Sean has come off of pit road. And Sean definitely needs to stay right there with Harley Barletta. Maybe even keep his car in front of Harley. If he can keep his car out front, he will get the wave around and put himself in position to get back on the lead lap as we've got another car coming to pit road. Jeremy Leto back on pit road. X-Cal drivers struggling here tonight. A couple of them anyway. Both Sean Andrews and Jeremy Leto having issues early in the race. 2 laps away from caution. Sean Andrews really needs to get back in front of Harley Barletta here. Jeremy Leto might be coming to pit road as a strategy move. He can pit now, get off pit road, and might be able to get a lap back, maybe 2 laps back under the caution. Brian Mansfield in 2nd, DJ Kenner in 3rd. The Outlaw pack has broken up a little bit. Matt Stewart and Jim Johnson now just over a second back from DJ. And they've got Gerald Poole, Joe Campbell, Kevin Barnes, all there together. Bradley Berry now has Kevin Brunner with him. Grainold's and Belair now hooked up, and this is not good for the rest of the drivers because Jim Belair and Michael Grainold's, as we mentioned, these 2 guys know how to draft, know how to work these high downforce cars. And it's getting sketchy as it comes to the caution. Brian Mansfield, DJ Kenner having to navigate around the lap car. Matt Stewart, Jim Johnson, Gerald Poole, Joe Campbell, and Kevin Barnes all closing in on that lap car as well. But the lap car of Sean Andrews drops in line behind DJ. Probably one of the best places to be. Should see a caution here as soon as, I believe, once Jim Belair crosses the start-finish line. There it is. Competition caution, lap number 33. Harley Barletta has had a dominant run so far. Had a 7-second lead here. Brian Mansfield in 2nd, DJ Kenner in 3rd. Don't have the Outlaws available to talk to right now, but it is obvious that team, that league is working together really well. We've seen Joe Campbell and Gerald Poole get connected. Now that Sean Andrews and Jeremy Leto will be able to get to pit road and possibly get a lap or more back, this could be when we see them break up into the leagues and work together. Expect to see almost everybody on pit road. The one car we might not see hit pit road, two of them, Sean Andrews, Jeremy Leto, might stay out. All the lead lap cars now coming down pit road, led by Harley Barletta. Sean Andrews, Jeremy Leto will have to, and Scruggs are going to have to stay out and wait next time the pit road will open. But the question is, do these guys stay out, get themselves waved around the pace car, get one lap back? One of these drivers will also have the lucky dog. And who's going to come up? Brian Mansfield's the first off of pit road, followed by DJ Kenner, Jim Johnson. Harley Barletta comes out fourth, and he is stuck in the middle of the Outlaws. So things might get a little bit tougher for Harley here. Let's ask Harley. Hey, Harley, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, how's it going, Doug?
Hey, man, you had a 6.5+ second lead there as the competition caution comes out, and now you're kind of trapped. You've got four of the Outlaws right in front of you. Are you going to be able to get back out to the front? And once you do, are you going to be able to run away?
Yeah, I feel like we're going to do the same. We got this line going into 3 that I don't think anybody else is running, and it seems to be paying off really big. So I think we'll be all right.
Well, with a little cloud cover on the track coming on right now, it's going to cool things down a little bit. Might give you a little bit more grip and a little bit more speed. I have to ask, 33 laps, you guys know about 40 laps on a tank of fuel. How's the car feeling late in the run?
Oh, it's perfectly fine as long as you get the arc into the corner. All right, it'll stick on the bottom. I do have a problem though. I did not set a button to clear my tear-offs, so this could get interesting.
Oh no! Well, they should automatically tear off every now and then, so you may be good to go.
Well, let's hope so, because they haven't yet.
Uh-oh. All right, man. Good luck, buddy. Hopefully your tear-offs will take care of themselves, and hopefully we'll be talking to you in Victory Lane, man.
Hey, I hope so, man.
Good luck, bud.
Thanks.
All right, Harley Barletta, and several of the Outlaws went back to pit road to top off. Jim Johnson, DJ Kenner, Jim Belair, all on pit road, topping off on fuel. Sean Andrews stayed out. Jeremy Leto stayed out. Scruggs stayed out. They all stay out and get a lap back. They're all now showing, I believe, one lap down. Brian Mansfield leading the Outlaws out front. He'll have Harley Barletta on the outside, Matt Stewart in third, Gerald Thanos Poole in fourth, Bradley Berry fifth, Kevin Barnes sixth, Joe Campbell seventh, Michael Greenholds eighth, Kevin Brunner ninth, and Jim Johnson in 10th. Now I have to give a shout out yet again. Thanks to Crazy Vet Fam. Check them out on Facebook. They are helping us out with the prizes, button boxes, t-shirts, all the great stuff. They are doing an awesome job. And if you need a button box for anything sim racing or flight, anything, hit him up. He's a great guy and fun to talk to. All right, pace car is in. Green flag is in the air there. Down and away again. Brian Mansfield gets a good jump again. Harley Barletta has got Matt Stewart to the inside, off into turn number 1. And how much blocking do the Outlaws do here? Now that they've got 2 up front, they've got several of their drivers further back. Harley Barletta to the outside, but he's still got to get around Brian Mansfield. We've talked about how Jim Belair, Michael Greenholds, several of these guys are extremely fast in these high downforce cars. Never count out, ever in an asphalt car, you never count out Brian Mansfield. He is always fast in asphalt cars. These Outlaw guys work together so well. You see Mansfield staying on the bottom. Harley Barletta's got help from Bradley Berry up on the top, though. And Gerald Thanos Poole is coming up. Oh, a little bit dicey there off of turn 2. And here comes Bradley Berry. He's looking to make a move up the middle. 3 wide into turn 3. Bradley Berry clears Harley Barletta. Harley's up into the wall. I think he might have scraped the wall. Mansfield gets away. Bradley Berry slips into second. Matt Stewart in third. Kevin Barnes now up in... Kevin Barnes has been just around 10th all night. Now he is up here lap 40. He's going to go for the win. Harley Barletta is back on pit road. Looks like he got the wall and got some damage. Mansfield continuing to lead. Sean Andrews went to pit road after the caution. Harley Barletta should be back off of pit road. He is on his way out. Bradley Berry, power move to the bottom. Bradley Berry to the lead. They're spread out 4 wide coming through turn 2. All right, everybody, hold your breath. This is getting sketchy. I think they forgot they've got 60 laps to go here. Several of these guys just sending it. You get a ton of a big run in the draft out of the turns here and down the straightaway. You get that momentum. If you've got the hole, you take it and you use it. These guys get the run. They are going for it all the way around the track here. Bradley Berry in the lead, but the top 10 cars are all under a second. Well, 1.3 seconds right now from Bradley Berry to Gerald Poole. Jim Belair in 11th place is 1.4 seconds back. This pack staying side by side helps these guys. Gerald Poole's on pit road. Let's see if we can see. Was this a planned stop? I'm willing to bet some of these guys forgot to max their fuel out going to pit road, and that is why we're seeing all these pit stops after that caution. Now it's Kevin Barnes out front. Bradley Berry on the high side, Kevin Barnes on the bottom, but they cannot be happy looking in the mirror because the Outlaws are coming. Brian Mansfield, Matt Stewart are right there. Joe Campbell from Xcal, he's in the mix as well. Joe has been the Xcal driver to watch all night long so far. No issues, a clean run so far. And they're 3 wide back behind. DJ looks like he backed out of it a little bit. Jim Johnson, Kevin Brunner got clear on the bottom. And oh, we've got a crash in turn 2. Heavy crash. Let's see if we can see what happened. Should have a caution here in a minute. It looked like a netcode incident. Let's take another look at it. It looked like there was just a bit of netcode off the nose of Brian Mansfield. Caution is out. Several cars involved. Jim Johnson, Kevin Barnes, Matt Stewart caught in it. Kevin Brunner caught in it. Looks like Gerald Poole, who was just coming off pit road, got caught as well by a spinning car right in front of him. Several cars, heavy damage. A lot of guys will be using their fast repairs here, but you know the smart driver here so far is it looks like Michael Graynolds and Jim Belair both made it through that. Bradley Berry out front. Brian Mansfield in second. Let's take a look at Brian's car. It was either a netcode or the arrow sent him around. It just looked like it was a netcode incident. Yeah, something happened to Kevin Brunner's car. Nobody was touching the car. It just snapped on him. I have to think it looked like he had gotten punted, but nobody was there. So I got to think that was 100% netcode and definitely hurting a lot of guys in the race so far. Most of the field is on pit road. Bradley Berry and Kevin Barnes staying out. This gives Harley Barletta, who had lost a lap earlier after leading after a 6.5 second lead, gets in the wall. This gives him a chance to get back to the lead lap. Jeremy Leto gives him a chance as well. Some guys came out really lucky on this, but a lot of cars heavily damaged. Just almost to the halfway point here, and looking to see. Right now, I'm showing 6 cars on the lead lap. Expect that to change in a moment as the admins work to get everybody back where they should be. And looks like Scruggs might have had a problem just a moment ago. Not sure. He pulls off on the back straightaway. Bradley Berry out front. It looks like we might get some of these lead lap cars coming to pit road now. Yes, indeed. Bradley Berry, Kevin Barnes coming to pit road. Brian Mansfield staying out. DJ Kenner stays out. Jim Belair stays out. Michael Grainold staying out. Bradley Berry, Kevin Barnes, Jeremy Leto, Harley Barletta all on pit road. Matt Stewart staying out. Matt currently 1 lap down. A lot of cars getting caught in that. Ended up a lap down here at Michigan. And a bit of a heartbreak. But now you've got 3 of the Outlaws at the front. I'm wondering if Scruggs had an issue. Not sure what went wrong with Scruggs there, but obviously some problems coming off turn 2. As they get ready for the green. Lights are out on the pace car. 5 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Some of the top guys from Outlaw, BRR, XCal, several leagues in here, and several of those top drivers are heavily impacted due to what appeared to be a netcode incident. Several drivers get through, but a lot of cars now 1 or more laps down. Some have used up their fast repairs. As the pace car drops off, green flag back in the air as they start lap 50 of 100. Brian Mansfield in the lead again. And we've seen this every restart. Brian hops out front. DJ will slide right back in. Those two working together extremely well. What a dangerous combination for everybody else. Back of the pack, it's side by side, nose to tail, all the way around the track. Harley Barletta back out there after the earlier incident. He is currently 1 lap down. A lot of cars 1 lap down, needing something to happen. A chance to get back to the lead. Brian Mansfield, DJ Kenner are starting to pull away. But this second pack, more cars, is trying to run them down. They had hopped out to a 1 second lead, but now this pack is getting together, working, and they're going to catch them in the blink of an eye. Don't forget, Michael Reynolds is back there. Used to seeing him hang out in the back till later in the race. He is already on the march. Kevin Barnes back there as well. Bradley Berry, quite a ways back, but still on the lead lap, just barely. DJ Kenner, now Jim Belair to the bottom. Nope, that was not Jim Belair. I believe that is Matt Stewart there on the bottom. He is trying to get in a position to unlap himself. They're 3 wide going into 3 again. Harley Barletta on the bottom. It's getting really sketchy out there. Harley Barletta, remember, early in the race, 6.5 second lead coming to the competition caution. Now he is working on unlapping himself. He goes by the leader, Brian Mansfield. Now the question is, can he get back around? Can he get the caution when he needs it? And once he's back in the pack, can he do anything to get back to the lead? Jim Belair, Michael Reynolds side by side for third place right now. Reynolds started in 15th. Only one of the 2 cars that didn't qualify, now up into 4th. Jim Belair in 3rd. He had issues earlier, and now look at him go. DJ Kenner, the Iceman, in 2nd, and look at this. Harley's got his hands full. Even though they are not all on the lead lap, the Outlaws are reconnected. And Brian Mansfield is leading them around. He's got DJ Kenner not far behind. Matt Stewart in between them. Harley Barletta jumps to the bottom in 3. He's going for the lead. Or not the, he is trying to unlap himself, excuse me. Used to saying he's going for the lead. Brian Mansfield still holds the lead and leads the entire Outlaw crew. Oh, power move as Matt Stewart's trying to make sure he gets the lead lap back. He's going to go by Brian Mansfield on the bottom. Keep in mind that blue car is the Combs Family Museum car of Brian Mansfield. He is the leader. 2nd place is DJ Kenner, the orange and black car. Everybody in between them is a lap down, and they are fighting to be in the lucky dog position if another caution comes out. And the way they're racing right now, it might very well be them involved. Harley Barletta back in front of the leader. Brian Mansfield trying to cross over on the bottom. Honestly, it appears that these guys are just out there playing around, having a ball in the draft. Brian Mansfield back in front of Harley. Harley gets a run, jumps to the bottom. Jim Johnson now right behind Brian. Brian has a little bit of help now. Correction, Brian has a lot of help. He's got Jim Johnson right behind him. DJ Kenner's back there. Matt Stewart's back there. And Brian Mansfield and Harley Barletta keep swapping around every single lap. Harley jumps back to the bottom on the front straight. What a crazy race. Now, in about a lap and a half, everybody will be within their pit window. They can go roughly 40 laps on a tank of fuel. Brian Mansfield slips back by and puts Harley back a lap down. And this time he stays on the bottom. He's figured out Harley's trick to get by here. He's going to stay down low, not let Harley back by on the bottom. And he'll have help from Jim Johnson right behind him. Jim, another car that's 1 lap down. He's actually battling Harley for position. Harley Barletta up top trying to find a way back around Brian Mansfield to get back to the lead lap. DJ Kenner currently in 2nd. He's actually 1.5 seconds back from this battle. And here comes Jim Johnson trying to get his lap back. Oh, Jim Johnson bounces off of Harley Barletta into the wall. Jim Johnson crash hard. Harley Barletta crash. Harley Barletta toes to the pits. Caution is out. Oh, Jim just came down and clipped the right rear on... Oh my goodness, Harley Barletta stuck in the fence. Looked like Jim just clipped the tire of Brian Mansfield. Yeah, he just came down, bounces off of it. Jim's car heavily damaged. And Harley Barletta gets stuck in the wall. Let's watch Harley's incident again. Jim bounces up and Harley just gets stuck in the catch fence. Alright, should see everybody on pit road. This could be the final pit stop. Everybody can make it on fuel from here. Actually, a perfectly timed caution. Harley Barletta had to tow to pit road because he was stuck. All the cars are on pit road. Bradley's going to come down. Lap cars staying out. Jeremy Leto. And this might be Leto's chance to get back to the lead lap and get back in contention. Kevin Brunner also staying out. Matt Stewart, Joe Campbell, Harley Barletta, Jim Johnson, Sean Andrews, all the lap cars on pit road. So this is perfect for Jeremy Leto. He's got a big opportunity here. After the incident on the pace lap, looked like something just went wrong with his wheel or something. He now has an opportunity to get back to the lead lap and possibly be back in contention for the win here tonight. But way out front, so far tonight, now that Harley's out, it's going to be Brian Mansfield's race to lose. And who is that back there? Kevin Barnes has the cone. Nope, that is not Kevin. That is Matt Stewart has the cone. Matt Stewart's going to drive around with the cone. Oh, yep, cone disappeared. All right, now we have, looks like 8 cars on the lead lap. Jeremy Leto, Kevin Brunner now returned to the lead lap. Matt Stewart is the first car 1 lap down. Joe Campbell, the second car 1 lap down. Gerald Poole out there, looks like he might get a wave around here, so he'll get one of his laps back. And Brian Mansfield maintains the lead here with Harley Barletta now several laps down. Looks like 3 laps down for Harley Barletta as he comes off of pit road. He's got a lot of ground to make up here, and everybody may have just made their final pit stop. If we stay green to the end, 8 cars on the lead lap. The way these guys were racing up front, though, you never know. We could very easily have another caution. Brian Mansfield restarting on the bottom. He's got DJ Kenner right behind him, so he's got help. Kevin Barnes restarting on the high side. He's got Jim Belair behind him. No help. Jim Belair, expect to see him hop down and help DJ and Brian. Bradley Berry will have to work with Kevin. Grainold's back there as well to help those two. And, of course, the lap cars from both Outlaw, XCal, and G2 all out there. Still able to help draft, push, pull their teammates, whatever needs done. Things getting very, very interesting. All right, pace car is in. Brian Mansfield will lead him down again. Green flag in the air. Brian has amazing restarts in these cars. And Jim Belair manages to slip by everybody on the high side as well. Jim now up to third. And here comes Bradley Berry up on the high side. He's trying to make his way forward as well. Brian Mansfield, DJ Kenner get pulled away. Jim Belair to third. He'll be coming to help him. He's got Kevin Barnes right on the back bumper. He's got Bradley Berry up on the high side. And don't forget, Michael Grainold's still back there lurking. Jeremy Leto and Kevin Brunner also now back on the lead lap. Brian Mansfield out front. Bradley Berry all over the back bumper. You cannot bump draft in these cars, but he is all over the back bumper of DJ, trying to get any momentum he can to make the pass and get up to the front here. There he goes. He got the run he was looking for. Bradley Berry to the bottom. He takes second. He's thinking to take first into turn one. Bradley Berry to the lead. Brian Mansfield back in second, but he's got all the help in the world behind him from the Outlaw team. And here comes Brian Mansfield back to the bottom. DJ Kenner's going to hop down and help. Michael Grainold's back into fifth place, still with the lead pack. DJ Kenner in fourth. Kevin Barnes in third. Bradley Berry in second. Kevin Brunner crashed. Joe Campbell also involved. Oh, hard hit. Two cars very hard into the outside wall. They get clear of the track. No caution. The lead pack all together. Bradley Berry and Brian Mansfield still battling for the lead. DJ Kenner back there in third. Kevin Barnes fourth. Jim Belair fifth. Michael Grainold sixth. Leto in seventh. And what about DJ's coming up underneath Brian Mansfield? Looked like he let out of the throttle a little bit. Now here he comes. He's going to come down to the bottom. They're side by side through. Oh my goodness, it's getting really sketchy back there. That was Matt Stewart up on the high side with a little bit of a wiggle. Surprised to see these cars wiggling at all. Brian Mansfield has reclaimed the lead. Now Bradley Berry makes a big jump down to the bottom. Jumps up in front of DJ. DJ jumping to the high side. DJ down to the bottom for second. Bradley Berry out front again, but for how long is Brian Mansfield? There he goes. And Bradley Berry crossing back over on the front straightaway. It's just back and forth all the way around the track with these two. Bradley Berry out front for the moment. Oh, Bradley drops to the bottom. Gonna force Brian Mansfield to the high side. DJ Kenner with him. Brian trying to pick up a run here. Brian on the high side. He's got DJ with him. He's got Matt Stewart with him. Kevin Barnes back there as well. Right now it is Bradley Berry as we've got a car off track. That is Gerald Poole in the John Paul Jr. car. Brian Mansfield back to the lead. Now Bradley Berry down to the bottom, and Kevin Barnes gets a huge run coming down the front straightaway. He's looking for a position on DJ. Can't quite get there yet. Michael Grainold's a little further back. In fifth, we got a car in the wall. It's Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson wrecking on the infield of the back straightaway. He keeps it low. Jim Johnson's chances may have just ended. But the Outlaws still have several cars in the top 5. Brian Mansfield leads them. Now Bradley Berry back to the lead. And these guys just swapping positions every single turn. Now it's Brian Mansfield to the bottom. DJ Kenner right there with him to help draft. No, DJ jumps up to the high side with Bradley Berry. Now DJ's going to try and go high on Berry. Can't quite get enough yet. Bradley Berry still out front. DJ right on the back bumper. Brian Mansfield right there with him. DJ the Iceman Kenner. He might just be holding back for a little bit. Oh no, DJ's got a massive run. He doesn't make a move. Here comes Brian Mansfield to the bottom. Brian Mansfield wants that lead back. He's got Brian's back there. He's got Matt Stewart, who is a lap down right there with him for help. Kevin Barnes right behind him in fourth. DJ Kenner to the lead for the first time tonight. Bradley Berry fighting him on the high side. He's not ready to give the lead up yet. Bradley Berry gets in the draft, gets a run, and hops back down to the bottom. Brian Mansfield goes with him. No, Brian jumps back up to the high side. Brian goes with DJ, and Bradley Berry got one heck of a run, managed to break away for just a minute, but now these guys will be able to build a much bigger run on him. Now Brian Mansfield gets the run on the bottom. Brian Mansfield back to second. He is side by side with DJ Kenner. This is exactly what Bradley Berry wants to see in his mirror. 22 laps to go. He wants to see these guys battling side by side, focused on each other and not on him. Now Brian Mansfield, DJ Kenner go nose to tail again. Kevin Barnes just a little further back. He's got Matt Stewart as a buffer between them right now. Matt Stewart one lap down in 8th place. "21 laps to go." And here comes Brian Mansfield back to the bottom for the lead. Tire wear starting to show. These guys aren't getting as aggressive as they were just 10 laps ago. But they are still pushing these cars to the limit. Right now, Bradley Berry is in the lead, but he cannot break away. We saw Harley Barletta be able to break away earlier in the race. Nobody's been able to do it since the competition caution. Michael Grainold's 2.6 seconds back from the lead pack. Brian Mansfield back to the bottom. Oh, Brian and DJ almost get together there coming through turn 2. Matt Stewart gets a little bit of a bobble on the high side. Kevin Barnes goes to the bottom. Kevin Barnes finally clearing Matt Stewart. He is now with the other lead lap cars. 19 laps to go. Bradley Berry starting to open up a small gap, 0.2 of a second. But Brian Mansfield closes in on the front straightaway. Looks to the bottom, can't get there yet. Bradley Berry out front, Brian Mansfield in second, DJ Kenner in third, Kevin Barnes in fourth. Bradley Berry, currently you can see the difference in the tire wear. Let's take a look at Brian Mansfield's speed actually. And we'll watch Mansfield's speed. Earlier in the race, we were seeing 239, 240 miles an hour. Now they barely getting into the 230s. $17 laps to go. Brian Mansfield to the bottom. And here comes DJ Kenner for second. Bradley Berry still holding onto the lead, just barely, but Brian Mansfield keeps looking on the bottom. $15 to go at the line. Bradley Berry with the lead, Mansfield in second, DJ Kenner in third, Kevin Barnes in fourth, Michael Grainolds in fifth, Jeremy Leto sixth, Jim Belair in seventh, Matt Stewart currently running in eighth place. He is the first car one lap down. Then it's Harley Barletta in ninth, Joe Campbell in 10th, Gerald Thanos Poole in 11th, Jim Johnson on pit road in 12th, Kevin Brunner, Jim Scruggs, and Sean Andrews appear to be out for the night. As they run 8 or 7 cars currently on the lead lap. Only 4 of those lead lap cars in this lead pack. Bradley Berry leads them around. Brian Mansfield, they had played. Bradley Berry and Brian Mansfield had swapped positions numerous times early in the run, but now that the tires have worn in and the fuel is burning off, Brian Mansfield has struggled to get back around. However, he has help. DJ Kenner right behind him. Matt Stewart, who is 1 lap down, right behind them. Kevin Barnes currently in fourth, still in the lead pack, and here is Harley Barletta. Harley Barletta currently... Oh! Rick! Looks like Harley Barletta gets caught again. And it looks like everything started with Matt Stewart. Let's see what happened there. And looks like Brunner came up as Matt came down. Matt collects Harley Barletta. Several cars involved. Heavy damage. And oh, I think that might have been Jim Belair. I think Jim Belair might have been caught in this. Yes, he did. Oh. Several cars involved again. Caution, now the pit strategy comes into play. All these guys can go the distance from here. Just over 10 laps to go. Do they stop for tires, give up the track position? There's 6 cars on the lead lap. Jim Belair was the 7th car. He is on pit road. We'll see if he still has his fast repair here. I don't think he does. That car is actually crab walking down pit. No, he does have his fast repair. Jim Belair is still in it. So Bradley Berry out front, Brian Mansfield in second, DJ Kenner third, Kevin Barnes in fourth, Michael Grainolds fifth, Jeremy Leto is sixth. Those are your lead lap cars right now, and everybody coming to pit road. Let's see if we can get a word with Harley. Harley, I'm breaking my own rule here, buddy, but it has been a rough night after a dominant start.
Oh yeah, it's okay though. We're just out here having fun. I kind of feel bad because I keep going up there and trying to get a lap back, and I should probably not do that, but that's the only fun I'm going to have the rest of this race. So,
well, you definitely put on a heck of a show. You were up there battling with Brian. Great to hear you're still in good spirits. It has not been an easy night for you, but man, stick it out. It looks like a ton of fun out there.
Thanks, man. We're having a blast. I'm having a blast. Hopefully everybody else is.
All right. Well, good luck, man. Hopefully you at least get to continue to have some fun playing around in the draft and running with these boys.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to do that.
All
Thanks,
right.
Doug. Appreciate you.
All right. Harley Barletta has had a rough one here tonight. Brian Mansfield is the first car off of pit road. Jeremy Leto had an incident under caution. I could not tell if he actually touched anybody or not. Oh, it does look like he accelerated. I think there might have been a little netcode at play there, but Jeremy Leto, technical difficulties has been the story of his night. Now, here's the big story. Up front, Brian Mansfield comes off pit road with the lead. DJ Kenner in second. Expect those two every restart. They have got connected. Brian Mansfield gets away. DJ Kenner hops in the draft. They get a little bit of a gap. These two are doing an amazing job working together. Bradley Berry in third place. He's going to be right behind Brian Mansfield. He's seen every restart tonight. He's going to be ready for it. Kevin Barnes is going to be in fourth. Jeremy Leto in fifth. Michael Graynolds in sixth. Michael Graynolds, we talked about it early in the race. He spent the first part of the race off the back of the pack, intentionally hanging out, playing it safe. He is now on the lead lap in sixth place and still in contention with just a few laps left. This is where Michael Graynolds shines. But the question really, can anybody get past Mansfield and Kenner? Those two know how to work together. They raced here last night in Cup cars. They are in communication. They're working together, and it is shown tonight how well those two work together. It may come down to a last lap, last corner pass to see who comes out on top, but expect it to be one of these outlaws unless Bradley Berry can pull something off. Well, we might see some more craziness like we did on that early in that last run where the top position changes every single corner. Pace car is in. Who will it be? Green flag is in the air. 8 laps to go at the line. Brian Mansfield down and away. Bradley Berry manages to hold on to the draft. He is side by side with DJ Kenner into turn 1. Bradley Berry to the bottom. He's going for it now. And it's Bradley Berry to the lead. DJ Kenner now drops to the bottom under Brian Mansfield. Down the back straightaway. Brian Mansfield now to the bottom. DJ Kenner tries to get under. Bradley Berry moved to block. Couldn't do anything. DJ drifts up a little bit. They are side by side, inches apart. Bradley Berry now to the bottom. DJ Kenner coming under Brian now. Don't forget, just behind him, Kevin Barnes, Jeremy Leto, Michael Graynolds, all still less than a second away from the leaders. They are all still in contention. Bradley Berry in the lead, Brian Mansfield now back to the bottom. And here comes Leto. And Kevin Barnes is with him. Where's Graynolds? Graynolds just behind the pack. And it is getting crazy. Up front, 3 wide down the front straightaway. Leto in the middle. Oh, DJ comes up, clips them all. Brian Mansfield clears it, but everybody behind is wadded up off into turn number 2. Caution. All right, let's take a look at this, and it looks like it starts. Jeremy Leto coming up the middle, gets right up next to Brian Mansfield, comes down just a little bit. I think he might have touched DJ Kenner just a little bit, and DJ Kenner got turned around, headed up the track, and everybody beside him gets collected. Kevin Barnes is involved, Jeremy Leto, and DJ Kenner. Kevin Barnes gets caught in from behind. Let's see. Bradley Berry was up on the high side. And they come up, turn him, and oh, the entire pack just gets wadded up right there. Now comes a very interesting situation because Brian Mansfield is in the lead. Michael Graynolds will restart in second place. Bradley Berry is on pit road. We'll see if he can get that car back out, get his repair, and be on the lead lap here. And Harley Barletta might be in the lucky dog position. We'll have to wait and see who gets the wave around on this one. Bradley Berry's on his way off pit road. It looks like he may maintain the lead lap. Wow. Bradley Berry is going to stay on the lead lap. So Brian Mansfield, Michael Graynolds, and Bradley Berry are the three cars on the lead lap. They do have the possibility of one green-white checkered. Jim Belair back on pit road. Such a heartbreak. He was one I picked to be in contention for the win here tonight. He is extremely fast on these tracks. He is extremely fast in high downforce cars. He knows how to move them around in the draft, just like Michael Graynolds and Brian Mansfield. All these guys used to run in an SR8 series, and they ran 3, 4, and 5 wide around here. They all know how to work the draft and get it done late in the race. Jim was one fully expected. DJ Kenner, surprised he is on pit road getting his fast repair. Bit of a heartbreak. He has been in the top 2 all night long. Oh, time to catch our breath. They should get 1 to green here. Michael Graynolds will restart second. Bradley Berry moves up to restart third. Jeremy Leto is in fourth. Joe Campbell in fifth. Gerald Thanospool in sixth. Some of these guys heavily damaged, but just due to attrition are picking up several positions. But this race is going to come down to 3 cars. Brian "DaBoss" Mansfield, Michael Graynolds, and Bradley Berry. It'll be 3 cars, 2 laps, and probably insanity. This may come down to how well Brian Mansfield can block and keep momentum. Can Brian Mansfield pull it off? He still has some help in the pack behind him. The lap car of DJ Kenner will be back up in that pack to help out in a moment, but so does a couple of other guys will have some help. Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go at the line. And who is it going to be? Brian Mansfield gets a good jump. Bradley Berry goes with him. We've seen these two duke it out. The second half of the race all the way around the track, swapping positions every turn. Now, Bradley Berry has the run on the bottom. Michael Grainolds lost a ton of ground. He is almost a second behind. It might come down to just these two drivers as Bradley Berry noses ahead. Brian Mansfield drops back into the slipstream, trying to get an advantage. White flag in the air. Into turn one, Mansfield looking to the bottom. Grainolds and Kinner wrecking behind. Bradley Berry is in the lead. Can Mansfield do anything with him late in the race? Coming through 3 and 4, Bradley Berry moves to block. Mansfield's got to run. Mansfield jumps to the bottom. It's going to be a side-by-side drag race to the line. It's going to be Bradley Berry at the line. Brian Mansfield comes home second. And a broken DJ Kinner they have to avoid. Michael Grainolds finishes third. Let's see what happened on that last lap. Wow. It looks like Grainolds just got one heck of a run, jumped to the bottom, and found DJ. Several cars get yeeted through the air, and wow, what a race. The battle between Brian Mansfield and Bradley Berry came down to a last lap pass. Bradley Berry managing to hold him off. What an incredible finish. Oh, and Brian Mansfield's joined us. Hey, man, that was insane.
Yeah, it was, man. These guys, they got to learn. You cannot bump draft these cars. And I'm going to speak my piece right now. And the mirror driving was ridiculous. It was a good race, but had a lot of fun. But, man, there was a lot of crazy driving. You cannot bump draft in these cars. And there was a lot of good cars got taken out at different times. But, congratulations to Bradley. I mean, he came on the radio earlier in the race and told me he was mirror driving me. And, can't touch in these cars. So I kind of had to just deal with it. But thank you for putting on the race. It had a lot of fun.
I have to ask, there was a point in time after the around lap 50, after the competition caution, where it was you, Bradley, and DJ just kept swapping positions for like 10 laps. It was every turn. And watching y'all speeds, you were doing it at over 230 miles an hour every time. What was that like?
The closing rates on these cars are real fast. You have to pay attention, and if you don't pay attention, you'll run over somebody, and that's kind of what the key factor was there, is to kind of keep eye on DJ and all, and just make sure you don't run over the guy in front of you. But you just can't bump draft these cars.
Well, congratulations. It was a rough night, but a great second place finish. Great run, Brian.
Thank you.
And Bradley Berry, man, what a race that was.
Dude, you ain't lying. That was fun, but as Brian said, closing rate so fast. You don't realize how fast you turn up on these cars and run up on them. Next thing you know, you're in the rear end and you're bumping them. So by all means, I didn't mean to bump him at all or anybody, but man, swapping positions like that when you're used to the stock cars and you got a guy back behind you, he's got to have a good run. Insane.
It looked like just tons of fun, but probably holding your breath for 10, 20 laps at a time there.
Oh, for sure. I got my heart rate monitor going, and it was through the roof. My watch was vibrating on my arm. I was like, wow.
I'm sure it was, man. Well, congratulations. You've got a button box coming. I'll get with you later and get your address. That was a great race, buddy.
Yeah, it was. Thank you, sir. And you should have my address.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right, I do.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Michael Grainolds, I really pegged you for winning this one.
Well, I thought I would too, but I got a bad restart, and then the lap cars got in the way, and I was trapped.
Well, regardless, I knew early on, I watched you started the race and just dropped off the back of the pack. Classic Michael Graynolds move. Stayed clean, stayed out of trouble for the entirety of the race until that last lap incident. But man, it was an amazing drive to come back and get all the way to third.
Thank you, buddy. I think that was the only instant points I got was that last crash right there, race. So I was pretty proud of that.
I would be too, man. Heck of a race, heck of a third place finish, man. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right, and Thanos joins us in the booth, and that was a bit of a rougher one than we thought it would be there, but it looked like it was a ton of fun, Gerald.
Oh yeah, I had a really good time. These things are, when you get these things on a good, big, wide track with a good field, we had some stuff going on. But no, I was fast early. I think I got up there at one point in time, was fourth, and, really felt like I had a car that I could, race to the front there by the end. But yeah, kind of got tripped up with all that going on. So I had to make that was a decision between a tow or trying to drive what I had back to the pits. So I'm not sure which one would have taken longer, but I picked the one I did. So, but no, it was a fun race. Like I said, I can't wait to go back and look at it. Hey, we got one more next week, with the GT4 sports cars at the Legacy Daytona Road Course. So I'm looking forward to that. I can maybe do something with the last of these three races. But man, they've both been fun and both been competitive. And this one was a little chippy, but hey, man, that happens.
It does. Well, man, congratulations. It was still a great night. And you and the other two running the John Paul Jr. car was, I'm sure, meaningful to a lot of folks. So great job tonight, man.
Oh yeah, and yeah, like I said, this is all for the the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease Foundation, and we appreciate everybody that's been donating and coming and racing and supporting this, and for everything you do, Doug. And man, like I said, we'll just move on to next week, and thank you much, and we'll see you next week.
All right, man. Congrats, guys.
Later.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As he mentioned, the link to donate to the John Paul Jr. Huntington's Disease GoFundMe is on the Facebook page. We'll post it again tomorrow with more information. And, of course, next week, the final race of the series from the Daytona Road Course, GT4 cars. I'm sure that one's going to get really, really exciting as well. So you'll definitely want to come back next Thursday. Please donate if you can. And we will be back broadcasting on Facebook and Twitch again starting tomorrow night. And hopefully no more glitches in the future with that. So thank you guys so much. It has been awesome. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening.